All right, Kyson and I are underneath the house. Apparently we like to hang out under here these days. We came under here because this heat and air duct that was over there, we're gonna move over here so it won't be in the addition walkway anymore. So we're gonna try to do that. Kyson started by drilling holes from under the house up into the house so that once he goes in the house, he can cut through the wood flooring, starting in the hole he drilled with a jigsaw, the rectangle shape of the air vent. Just when we thought we had gotten all the 1984 out of our house, we found light bright lights in the air vents. Ductwork. This is where the old hole was. You can see that we laid our floor right over the hole. And this is where we're going to put the new hole so that it's no longer in the doorway. We got distracted by this one pipe that needs to be taped back up. The tape had fallen off, so Kyson took a break and came over here and taped this back up. So Kyson's in the house with Mama, and I'm not sure which one's cutting, but they're cutting out the hole for the floor register. The reason that we are cutting these new floor registers in is that one was in a doorway and the other one was like in the middle of the floor because there used to be a wall there and we took out a bunch of walls in our living space to open it up. So now we're trying to move one underneath our new kitchen island and just one over like 2 feet just to get it out of a doorway. So we bought this ductwork already insulated, and we're going to be attaching it to this extension pipe that we already had from the previous floor register. That way we can drop it down below the studs or the floor beams and attach it without struggling too much. So our dog's not doing really well, and I'm under the house working on this ductwork, and my mom calls me on my phone and says that someone's delivering flowers to the house. So apparently my best friend Nikki sent me flowers knowing what a hard day it is losing our dog, and there's some other things going on, and it's just been a rough week. And she also sent chocolate. So they just passed me chocolate under the floorboard or through the floorboards in a Ziploc bag. So I am going to take a break and eat chocolate in the crawl space. Every girl's dream. So we did end up having to do a really hard thing. We had to put our dog of almost 16 years down. His name was Champ, and it was harder than any of us could have imagined. So if you watched our other video, that space right there in the middle is where Maggie got to when she came under the house and we had to get her out, the foster cat. And this duct goes all the way down here and curves. It stops right here. I'm gonna attach this new piece to it, and then I'm gonna be running it over here. And where this insulation is coming down over here, Kyson is up there drilling a hole to put the new floor register in, and we'll have all our floor registers will be hooked back up. So it's been really hard to find people to help us do some of these projects lately that we've been trying to work on since we decided to try to finish our house. And to get someone to come out right now and hook up these floor registers for us to cut the holes inside the house and then go under and hook them up was $800. And we just weren't willing to pay that right now. So I am hooking them up. I understand that I'm not a professional and I may or may not be doing this the best way, but they're going to work for now. And the guy that has been working on our floors or our heat and air system for us said that he could come in the fall and check out what we've done and see if any changes need to be made. All right, so all our old ductwork pretty much looks like this. You can see it running up here under the house. And since we're having to move some ductwork over because of the floor, we're having to take some pieces apart and put additional like attached pieces to it. So I'm using this to do that. My mom got it for me at Lowe's. She picked up this morning. It's just like this silvery stuff on the outside, a layer of insulation, and then in here is like the duct part, like the thing that the air goes through. So I'm basically sliding this hole over these old pieces and then making sure that I tape the inside layer first and then the insulation layer and then that silver layer tight around this. And Kip's gonna later on, he's already insulated, like you can kind of see there. We had to pull it apart because of Maggie. These guys are hanging out with me, keeping me company. But Kip's insulating everything himself. He's working on it as he gets a chance. So he's gonna come back and insulate the rest of these pipes. But the extensions that we're adding is gonna be like mega insulated like this when we're done. So Some things that we were using is these scissors my mom had to cut through the insulation and the new ductwork. I haven't used that. I'm using this duct tape to tape everything to the old pipes. These big heavy duty zip ties is how I'm making sure I get it like I'm using it to kind of like squeeze it so I get it really tight around the old pipe. Of course, I used a tape measure to know where we were going to cut the holes at. The screws are so I can use, I'm using this to hold the pipe and the insulation up next to the house. They were using these before, these metal things. And so this is kind of like something I can use that's similar. So that is how I will pick this up so that the air can flow straight and not have to sag. It won't sag down. What else are we using? Oh, just the drills to put screws in to hold the insulation up. I've got this knife under here. And I'm sitting on some of, I'm gonna close the knife because I shouldn't leave that open. I'm sitting on some of the insulation that Kit's using. The silver stuff is really nice to lay on and sit on while you're working because you don't have to lay in this sand under here. So far, the kids saw a spider, but I have not seen a snake. So I'm pretty happy about that. Anyway, I'm gonna go help connect this next pipe. Or I guess it's called pipe, tubing, pipe, something. I totally should not have said that because right after I said that, I went over and tried to move some insulation and it felt like I grabbed a snake and I hollered, and Kyson actually thought he might have cut me because he was cutting through the floor, but I don't know. If it was a snake, it wasn't there when I looked again, so I scared it away. But it probably was already, like, it probably would have already been scared away if it really was a snake because we had been being so loud and I'd been under there a while. But I don't know. It really felt like I grabbed something.
Whoops, there's the dragon's food. It fell. Sorry.
There's my chocolate. They're feeding me again. My mom and my oldest son are up there cutting the holes. So Kyson and Mama worked hard to try to get these holes as neat as possible, but it doesn't really matter if they're perfect or the exact size. You can caulk around them or put steel wool or something around them just to make sure no critters from under your house get up into your house. And the floor register is great because it fits over top of the hole. So if the hole's not like perfect, it just covers that anyway. So it doesn't really matter. All right, so the second floor vent is now back up there. And it runs along here over to there. So we got that done. Got to re-secure that junction box, and there's a couple pieces of insulation that were down when I got under here, so I'm gonna put those up. So there you go, about $800 worth of work done in about an hour and a half by my mama, myself, and my son. So in spite of us never really having done ductwork before, we got the job done.